The School of Physical and Health Education at Springfield College is helping local educators to prevent vaping by giving them practical skills and strategies to use in the classroom. So far, they've conducted training sessions in Springfield schools. Professor Michelle Moosebrugger and graduate student Marie Brady joined Carolee McGrath in the studio to explain.
We were really excited to work last year collaboratively on campus and through CVS Health Foundation, and did land the $50,000 grant that is setting us up to work with pre-service teachers and in-service teachers with a pre-existing program called Catch My Breath, which is a vaping prevention program.
So what are the components of the program?
Yep, so the program is designed for grades 5 through 12, and it's developmentally appropriate in that there's a separate unit for 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th and 8th, and 9th through 12th. And during the 4-lesson unit, the students are building skills. So it's not content-based as health education would have been years ago when you and I took health in high school. It's skills-based. So the students aren't just learning, well, what is an e-cigarette? What are the chemicals involved? But they're learning skills. For example, they're learning refusal skills. So how to say no. And then they're getting practice using those skills in class with their peers and role-playing in different situations. They're getting advocacy skills. So they're recognizing, this is wrong. Companies like Juul are marketing to youth e-cigarettes. This is wrong. This doesn't feel right to me. What can I do about it? So they're gaining advocacy skills and actually getting to put them into practice, writing letters to folks like a state representative or launching a social media campaign. So it's skills-based. It's also evidence-based. We know that from a study that just came out in Public Health Report that students who have Catch My Breath at their school are significantly less likely to experiment with e-cigarettes in the year following receiving that program as compared to students at schools that don't have Catch My Breath.
So Marie, tell me a little bit about your work, your graduate work. I know that you're running a training program. What has been the response?
Yeah, so so far I've trained our pre-service health and PE teachers at the college, and then kind of our big workshop this just a couple weeks ago was with the Springfield Public Schools health and PE teachers, and I feel like just watching them kind of get introduced to it throughout that day, like they were so excited about it, and being able to we kind of practice a lot of the activities so that they can feel comfortable when they go and implement the unit with their students. So it was really cool to just see them, like how excited they were, and they, a lot of them told me after, like, oh, I feel very confident and ready to teach this. I feel like my school really needs it. A lot of them, have seen it in their classroom, have seen it in the bathrooms, and it's obviously a big issue. There's been so many deaths from it this past year, and so I think that they're all really just really excited about it, and they know how important it is.
And then they in turn would help educate the other teachers, because this is like the PE teachers, the health teachers are going to introduce this curriculum to their students, but it's the English teacher or the history teacher, maybe who's not as familiar like with what these things look like, because if you're not up on it, you might not realize that the kid's doing it in the back of the class. How do you help equip teachers to deal with that?
Yeah, the way that Catch My Breath is designed, it's meant to be a whole child, whole school, whole community response. So focusing not just on the classrooms where the health and physical education teachers are, but also what does this look like in a homeroom or advisory classroom. Reaching out to science teachers, that's another group of folks that could be involved in teaching the unit. And then what can we do as a school? How can we look at our school wellness policy? How can the students look at the school wellness policy and critique it and offer suggestions? And then how do we reach out to our family members and support them in understanding what we're doing in terms of vaping prevention?
And what are you hearing from teachers as far as what they're seeing in the classroom? Because I would say it's pretty risky for a kid to do it, but they're doing it right in front of the teacher.
It's crazy because there's so many, like I've done a lot of research on this topic since I got this position. And there's actually like apparel, and like just certain like lanyards and like things like that are made specifically to like hide the device. So like there's like sweatshirts with like strings that like you put it in and it's like very discreet, but some kids will even just like put it up their sleeve or just kind of do it in plain sight because it's, they know that their teacher might not even recognize it or have any idea because it does look like just a little like a USB flash drive or like just they look like everyday items a lot of the time. So it's hard to even distinguish unless you're like very, very aware of what it looks like.
Sure, it could fool teachers and certainly parents alike. How do you drive home the point though? Because if kids are willing to be that, risky, how do you drive home the point to them that, hey, this is bad for you. This is really going to be a problem down the road, because you can throw numbers at them and they're just going to be like, whoop, that's right over my head. Like, how do you really make that point?
That's where some folks are asking, well, why are you working with 5th grade students? But the 5th grade students that we had as student leaders that came to the workshop in January, we knew this is perfect. We're getting them at the right time before they've truly been exposed and offered e-cigarettes, and they are jumping right on board. They believe in themselves. We're helping them to build self-confidence. We're helping them to build advocacy skills and communication skills so that they can educate their peers and their family members and out into their community. So catching them early is really important. But still, the student leaders that we had all the way through 12th grade, the teachers in the schools selected the right students, I would say, to be those student leaders, and that's where it's going to come from. It's not Marie and myself. It's not the teacher standing in the front of the room or even in the discussions that go on within the unit, but it's those student leaders and the student facilitators within the unit that are really making a difference for their peers.
I think that though you would have student leaders and you had certain kids that are going to be on board, but how do you help them communicate that to other kids who don't have the same courage or self-esteem to tell, another kid, listen, I'm not doing that. How do you do that?
Once people start realizing, a big thing that the Catch My Breath curriculum kind of points out is that even though there's huge numbers of kids vaping, it's still the norm that the students aren't vaping. So you might feel like everyone around you is, but when you look at the statistics and the percentages, it's actually the majority are not vaping, but kids are thinking that everyone's doing it and I need to fit in, I need to do it too. And it's it just isn't worth it when you think about all the things that have happened.